During World War III, a massive airfield in the desert is discovered by the Allied forces. However, it appears to be completely abandoned. The US Army has launched an invasion of the airfield. However, after crossing their convoy through it, they realize no one is there, or so they think. While they begin to mobilize outside of the airbase to return to their base, enemy forces begin coming out of hiding to ambush the US military convoy. On top of that, a small armored division starts charging through the desert towards the US Army convoy. They're trying to take them all out in one swift swoop. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. Alright, let's get right on into this ambush, starting in slow-mo so we can see all of the details of what's going on. And we have our RPG trooper completely whiffing the first shot right there into a tree. That could have easily taken out an Abrams with that side armor. That dude just completely screwed the pooch here. That is ridiculous how he missed that shot from not that far away. I guess the pressure got to him. I'm not totally sure, but that was a goof and a half. We've got a ton of US Army soldiers coming on out of these trucks now from the convoy, trying to deploy as quickly as they possibly can. They are getting some shots off, but for the most part, they are getting destroyed by the incoming fire of the enemy. We need the armor of the US military to really come in clutch here. Those Abrams, Strikers, and Bradleys especially need to start doing some anti-infantry precautions here, because right now, the US infantry is not having a good time. A few of these guys over here are starting to get a defensive perimeter around the road, firing back at some of the hostiles that are further back, ambushing them right now. In the way back over this way, it looks like a number of the Abrams over here have been torched by RPG shots. We've still got a ton of insurgents off to the side over this way, still very much so active on the battlefield, reloading their RPGs and their AKs, FN FALs, whatever they've got in their arsenal. Two RPG troopers right here could potentially take out this Abrams, but right now they're laying low. Here they come. They're gonna pop it. They take one shot. I think that hit the falling tree, and I think that one hit the falling tree too, and my guy flopped himself. Oh my goodness, the Abrams is still up, but it gets smacked finally by a successful RPG shot at point blank, and I think that thing is completely toasted. Over this way, a ton more of these trucks have been completely evac'd, and the US soldiers on the ground are firing away as much as they possibly can right now to stop this enemy ambush in its tracks, but it is tough. A number of the vehicles have already been completely destroyed out here. Humvees over this way trying desperately to get some good shots off with their Top Gunners, but it is not easy in the slightest right now with so much incoming fire. Over here, this side of the convoy seems to be doing very well. We kind of had the convoy splitting up left to right on this road here, and the left side actually has a lot of Humvees left alive. Tow missile Humvees too, still firing away at the enemy off in the distance here and doing a pretty good job of staying alive. So those guys are definitely very promising. We still have a ton of insurgents over here though, so if they push forward and round that corner, they could be getting cooked. And here comes the enemy reinforcements coming in hot right now. We have a number of BTRs as well as T-72Bs coming forward, very capable of killing Abrams. A slightly weaker tank than the Abrams itself, but the T-72 is definitely something that could pack enough of a punch to penetrate that armor. We've also got a lot of insurgent reinforcements in infantry over here that evac'd from their own BTRs, but now seem to be kind of chilling in the back there. These reinforcements kind of taking a little bit of a an artillery-style approach, just doing backup supporting fire, spamming as much ammunition into the enemy as they possibly can, while the ambushers still take the brunt of the action. There's not a ton of the actual insurgent ambushers left alive on the battlefield. Most of them are a little bit farther back, kind of behind cover, not super in the action itself, as the US military has wiped out the very front runners of the ambush. I would say back here, pretty much all of the US military is dead, but then over this way, these guys fared a fair bit better than the other side. So these guys are doing a lot more on the battlefield right now. These Humvees continuing to fire out at the enemy insurgents. If we look at the battle map at the top left, it's a bit small. Let's see if we can't enlarge it. There we go. Blue are US military forces left alive. Red are insurgents left alive. So we still have large pockets like over here, over this way, and some smaller ones in other areas. So the US has done a good job of clearing out a lot of these guys and making sure, especially that their back lines is still going to be stable for the time being, but the front lines is still suffering very heavily, and the right side over here is still under constant heavy fire, so that is not a very good thing. By the way, this is a custom battle I made, so I won't be able to really link it in the description below. However, it is made using the COD World War III Weiga mod, and on top of that, the map was created by a Steam Workshop user. I'm not totally sure of the name, to be honest. I don't know if I've ever done any of his maps before, but a really brilliant World War III Airfield map for the COD World War III mod. Really impressive. I definitely want to do more battles on this map. I thought a convoy ambush naturally would be good because we have all of these defenses where the enemies can hide and, you know, really open roads where the ambush can actually go on. Tow missiles striking some last remnants of infantry over this way. A bit overkill, but whatever gets the job done. Inside of the hangars, we have some insurgents currently chilling, and then behind some of these heliports and things like that is still a lot of resistance. Sort of the better cover that's farther back from the main lines is what's still alive, but right now the US is just shelling them. Just absolutely obliterating the terrain left and right. My goodness. Alright, the front here. Still got tons of tanks, although they're kind of clustering up over here. I don't know if they know what they're doing. Let's boost it up to semi-normal speed here because we have tons of dead on the battlefield. It's going to make the frames per second a lot better. BTR moving forward this way. It's got a nice butt shot on the engine of this Humvee. Wait, no. Humvee engines are in the front. I'm thinking of tanks that have back engines. And there goes the gunner. The driver is still alive, so he could pop up there and start gunning himself. I'm not sure if he will, though. What Abrams are still alive? This one is completely cooked. This one is tracked, but still alive. This Striker is cooked. This Bradley is mostly cooked, but technically alive. It might get repairs. This one is mostly functional. These ones back here are totally dead. Back this way, this tow missile Humvee is still alive. We've got, over here, another tow missile Humvee. We've got a Bradley over here coming forward, as well as two Abrams left alive, but getting shocked from enemy incoming fire. The Humvees are starting to move around a lot more on the battlefield. That's a good thing. I don't want them stun-locked in one position for too long. They need to get to cover. They were out in the open for so long here, and the US forces outnumbered these insurgent forces like 5-1 or something absolutely insane. But at this point, they are definitely outnumbered by the insurgents, as this has been a very successful ambush from these guys. And now the tanks and the BTRs are basically hunting the remaining US military forces, which are still fairly strong. You never want to underestimate a US Abrams. These M1s can pack a meaty punch and do some serious damage. And they're sort of side profiling over this way, exposing their side armor, which definitely is not a smart idea. I wish they would stop doing that, but it is what it is. Another Abrams over this way seems to be the main draw of the enemy attention right now. It's popping a few shots here and there. I think a lot of them are semi-decrewed right now. Yeah, they are, and damaged, so their reload speed is going to be a little bit more cooked. Alright, a nice shot into a T-72 right there, eliminating that sucker from the battlefield. Remember, we still have a ton of infantry back this way in the desert hills that never really came forward, and we also have insurgent infantry off on the flanks over here too, still left alive, that the U.S. military is going to have to deal with eventually, and some fellas over here. Now, the U.S. does have infantry of their own, a little bit more scattered and a little bit stun-locked right now, not willing to come forward, and I don't blame them. This is a harrowing battlefield right now. Tow missile shoots its own truck. What more can I say? God dang it, dude. What are we doing here, B? That is absolutely terrible. Oh, actually a very solid number of Rangers down here as well, taking a little bit of fire at the enemy left and right. Not doing too much, but a little bit. Alright, let's go ahead and boost it up to full speed ahead here. We are finally in normal speed on this battlefield and getting a very solid 50 FPS, which is fantastic. What's nice about these... Oh, there goes the Abrams right there. That is a big loss for them. Yikes. What's nice about these desert maps is they're so open and non-cluttered by fauna and flora. Fauna is animals. Flora is plants, I think, right? I believe. But either way, so unmarked by, like, spamming a forest and things like that, that you don't get too much lag. Guys, stop ramming into each other, please! You would make this battle so much easier on yourselves if you would stop hurting your own vehicles! I get that it's a very, very chaotic battlefield right now. I understand that there's a lot going on and you might not be able to help it, but just try a little bit harder. T-72 here, taking tons of pot shots. It is missing like crazy, hitting oil towers and water towers. It is whiffing shots right now. The inaccuracy of this could seriously hurt these guys. Not an impressive showing from these blokes in the slightest. That one did hit. I just don't think it did much. This Abrams actually is dead now. This one's still alive, though. Whoa! Its buddy is blocking shots for our man up front. He's gonna push behind this building, it looks. Tow missiles coming out from back here. Love to see that. We've also got a number of U.S. Army soldiers with, like, M2 laws and things like that, so they'll hopefully be able to do something as well. A bunch of insurgents just kind of watching in the flanks over that way. These U.S. Army soldiers not really doing too much. That tank is now glitching into the side of that. That might be the last U.S. tank, is it? We do have this tow missile Humvee. And that's actually it. I think it's that tank over there and this tow missile Humvee, which gets clapped. The top gunner is still up there, but he ends up bailing out. So it's pretty much going to be one tank and U.S. infantry to try and stop the rest of this insurgent push. I'm hopeful about this trooper here with the M2 Law, but this tank needs to come nice and close to get a shot off. We've got additional U.S. military soldiers over this way. This fella's taking a rocket shot and reloading, but he ends up going down. These troopers just laying, waiting for their fate to be decided by the enemy here. They don't have rockets or anything along those lines. This is rough. A brutal result of this battle. I mean, never count the U.S. out, but it's not currently going well in the slightest. The last remaining U.S. soldiers have a lot of tanks to deal with and BTRs. Let's actually check out the insurgent numbers right now. So this T-72 is still alive. This one over here is still alive. This BTR is still alive. A number of infantry over here. This BTR is dead. That tank's dead. This is dead, and this is alive but damaged. Okay, this out here is dead. Oh, there's the Abrams. There actually isn't that many T-72s left alive. A lot more BTRs, but very few T-72s. So maybe this Abrams can do something, and if the infantry helps it out a little bit, we could be in business for a comeback from the U.S. Army. There are those T-72s firing away. This sucker is not doing what it needs to be doing. Oh, there's only one soldier currently in this thing, so he's in the driver's seat. Track broken. He's going to take over the main gun. And he's dead. Well, there goes the final U.S. tank. All of these little icons are U.S. infantry still alive at this point. And that's all they're going to have is infantry. All of their vehicles in the convoy are now destroyed. I wonder how many of these soldiers are actual AT soldiers that can pack a punch into some of these T-72s. It is unclear. I also don't know if they have anti-tank grenades. If they do, that's great. But I kind of don't think they do. Oh god, these poor fellas just having to hide behind the convoy trucks. Literally getting hunted. There's machine gun taking out that trooper under that tank. Yikes. Alright, this is going to be the big deciding factor if any of these guys have AT grenades or if they have any type of noob tube or rocket launcher. This is the time as it comes through here, but right now it's still kind of just chilling. Oh, they're bringing up BTR support. There's a rocket trooper. This guy is going to be very important. I wonder if he knows that. He is essential. There's more troops back here. No rockets with them, though. Man. Okay, there's more dead rocket troopers back that way. Incoming BTR fire. Luckily not into the rocket trooper. Oh, God. Oh, he doesn't have the shot, does he? Come on, buddy. Take the shot! Good! Is it dead, though? Is it dead? Yes! Alright, infantry, help out, help out. Take him down. Yes! Oh, that is massive. That is absolutely huge right there. T-72 dead. That leaves one more, right? Oh, wait. This one over here is dead. Was that the other one? Hold up. I think all the T-72s are now dead. That is absolutely massive. Holy cow. So, the only mobile unit for the Insurgents is going to be this BTR. So this guy, if he just nails a shot on it, that's perfection. That's perfection. Uh-oh. Okay. Juggernaut unit back there, dying for the US. Okay, take the shot. Yes! He just blew up all of its wheels at once! What the heck, dude? Okay, that's absurd, but I love it. We need to make sure everyone is on basically free move mode now. I think they're all actually on hold move mode, which I didn't mean for everyone on the battlefield to be in that mode. I think only the vehicles were on free move mode, but for some reason the infantry was not. So let's go into move mode and do free for everybody, both sides. And now it is truly... Wait, these guys are still on hold position. Why? Fellas! Move about the cabin, please. There we go. Good, okay. For some reason, it did not work. Move mode. This must be an error, then. Would be my best guess as to why. Are these guys on hold move? This must be a glitch. I think that for some reason the tanks were on hold move, and all these guys back here never got onto free move mode. Neither did these fellas, which is kind of frustrating. So everyone is going on free move mode now. Everyone can move around, and we're going to see if U.S. infantry here can take away a W. So U.S. soldiers hugging these down Bradleys and Abrams. This is purely an infantry battle now. Every single vehicle, save for one BTR back that way, which is completely out of commission currently. I think its main gun can still fire, but that's about it. All of the other vehicles are dead at this point, so it is going to be up to the U.S. to hopefully survive this ambush with just their infantry left alive. I guess the convoy itself is technically destroyed, but as long as there's U.S. infantry still alive, they could potentially repair vehicles in the future and, you know, a successful mission of raiding the airbase, but very good strats coming in from the enemy units here. This was a brutal ambush, man. More reinforcements for the U.S. military coming through this way. Shotgun unit out there. Look at that. That's probably not the best unit to be fielding right now. Probably helped out earlier when it was more close quarters combat, but now everyone's so out in the open, far away from each other, that it's probably not going to be the best. But look at this. Rangers leading the way as they do, and sort of balling up, which I actually like that strategy here. Now that they're not dealing with vehicles, balling up is okay. It makes your fire output super devastating and makes the enemy really second guess pushing forward or even engaging, period. And we see that with a lot of the troops kind of retreating back this way, trying to run away from the action currently. The cowards that they are, after all. Alright, U.S. infantry is going to continue their push this way, which is going to be nice because it'll give them this as cover from the other insurgents over here that are pushing out. I think our little U.S. force over here kind of died out. There's a lot of insurgents still out here from the BTRs that just never came forward. Oh, is that one U.S. Army soldier in here? Yep. What are you doing? Buddy. What? Are you doing push-ups? Like, come on. Okay. Well, at least he got a kill, but that was so stupid. That was unbelievably stupid. So, pretty much the main U.S. force is over here. They've got a few rando soldiers over this way, including a medic who, with the new medic update for Gates of Hell, which new is in quotes because it was 4 months ago or something like that now, I wonder if he can actually go and revive some of these troopers or if that's just not available in the editor version of the game. I'm not totally sure, but I guess we'll find out potentially here. These guys moving forward, still balled up. Could be in for some trouble, though, as the enemy might be balling up a little bit themselves over here. Enemy also taking on a little bit more of a defensive role at this point, hiding behind cover and things like that. So the United States is going to be on the back foot in that regard. These guys, though, flanking around. Look at that! Beautifully done! There's another! Get the other guy! Dude, these weapon models are so fire. Look at that. That just looks so sick. Oh, no! My guy's dead. Alright, it's okay. Reinforcements coming through the convoy area. The torn up convoy area. Completely squashed. They did not have a good time, but they still might have victory looming on the horizon. I just don't know who's going to win this one. I love a good battle where it is 50-50 all the way through. I have absolutely no idea who is going to win this thing. And it goes back and forth. At certain times, you're like, oh, the U.S. has got this in the bag. There's no way they lose this. And then other times, it's like, wow, the U.S. is in serious trouble. Dude, kill him. Oh, my God, what a whiff. And that's the BTR taking pot shots from, like, all... Where is that thing? Oh, it came forward. I think it repaired its tracks. Yes, it is now mobile. Oh, that's not good. All right. A mobilized vehicle has entered the chat. We do have a couple of troops with rockets over here. He needs to come forward and take that thing out. Oh, God. You are of the utmost importance for our military, buddy. If you die, we're cooked. These guys over here getting eliminated by enemies. Oh! Oh no. Oh no, there goes our rocket trooper. Literally one BTR is shifting the balance of the battlefield. We only now have 3 U.S. Army soldiers left alive after having like 20 or 30 just moments ago. And these guys are now getting absolutely crushed by the enemy. Wow. If only that BTR had died with the rest of the convoy, I think the U.S. would actually win this thing. But this sucker has come through and destroyed the remnants of the U.S. Absolutely absurd. Oh. There's one troop right over here. They could get a couple more kills. That'd be sweet, but... There you go! Nice. See, the U.S. is better with their infantry than the enemy. As a whole, I think they have better health, better accuracy, better weapons, etc., etc., etc. It's just a matter of that BTR coming in and wiping out so many of the last remaining U.S. Army soldiers. That's the biggest problem that we have seen. Come on, buddy. Stay alive. Come on. Oh, God. There's so many enemies. Shoot him! Nice! Okay. Firing an ACOG scope. You don't usually want to be in that position. He's like morphed into the door. And he gets shot. RIP. Alright, our last buddy for the U.S. military is back this way. He's pushing forward. He's got guts. Rangers lead the way, baby. Shoot him! No, he whiffed all of his shots and now he's derping. Ah, we can't see through the tarp. He gets a kill. What an awkward position to be in, and he dies. And that is it. My god. Wow. This BTR really torched us. And then there wasn't that many actual ambushers left, just 4. And then this whole hill of SMG troopers for the insurgents probably wouldn't have been that big of a threat. I think the US genuinely would have won if it wasn't for this BTR coming through and eliminating the last of their infantry squads right there. Either way, let's go ahead and check out the losses. So, red are dead US Army soldiers. Yellow are dead insurgents. Insurgents took so many more losses, but the US Army, each soldier is far more valuable, as well as each tank being far more valuable in terms of power. So, really rough. Really, really rough right there. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.